What up, guys? So we got a little bit of a more informative video today. So what we're gonna go over is foam rolling.
Crying for love, crying for love. In the morning, moonlight.
So first off, what we're gonna talk about is how foam rolling works. Best way to describe that would be through maybe a drawing or an animation. My art skills and in drawing are not so well, and my animation skills are rather lacking. So fortunately for you guys, I have a great skill of home making designs just to help you guys understand what I'm talking about. So with foam rolling, what we have here is my homemade muscle. So what we're looking at here is respectively 2 solo cups, an elastic, and 2 forks. What it really is a muscle, and these are attachments. So this is where a muscle starts, where a muscle ends. Okay, so for reference, it could be like, this is a muscle, this is where it starts, ends, muscle, starts, ends, contraction, stretch, contraction, stretch. Okay, good. So when we stretch, what we're doing is we are pulling 2 attachments away from each other, causing a stretch. Essentially this, attachment, attachment, further away, stretch. Closer together, relaxed, pulling them together, contraction. But we're talking about stretching, so what happens when you do a traditional stretch is the attachments are pulled further away from each other, stretching out the muscle. This is the muscle. When we foam roll, the difference being that we still are achieving a stretch in a sense that we're not pulling the 2 attachments away from each other, but instead we are, say my fingers are a foam roll or lacrosse ball or tennis ball, and you're applying pressure. This would be the foam roller, and this is you sitting on it. Say this is your glute muscle and we are releasing it. You sit on the foam roller, it applies pressure. This is a stretch right here. The attachments are not moving, but the muscle is still being stretched out. Okay? So that's what's going on at a muscular level when we foam roll or stretch. But since we're talking about foam rolling today, it's the applying pressure on the muscle belly until it relaxes. So we'll get that out the way. Essentially, by foam rolling, what we're doing is we are applying pressure to a muscle for 20 to 90 seconds. And what we are hoping to achieve is a greater range of motion. I have a tight pec. If I'm tight, I can go from here, maybe to here. If we are to foam roll the pec, I can now achieve this much motion. So I can go from here all the way here. By increasing the range of motion, we can have 1, just like increased range of motion. 2, it can improve your performance in the gym, such as if you were to do a fly and your pecs are tight and you can't go farther than here, and we now apply pressure here, 20 to 90 seconds, pressure here, 20 to 90 seconds, really are able to open this up. Now when we are doing the movement, we have a greater range of motion. By running the muscles through a greater range of motion, we can increase flexibility, we can increase the stability of the muscle and the surrounding joints. Why would somebody choose to foam roll over stretching? Personally, I choose to foam roll because I find the act of pulling 2 attachments away from each other more painful than leaving the attachments where they are and applying pressure to the muscle itself. Essentially, both are receiving the increased range of motion, the only difference being where your pain threshold stands. Some people enjoy stretching and find foam rolling or using a lacrosse ball, tennis ball more excruciating. Some people find the tennis ball, lacrosse ball, foam roller, SMR techniques less painful, easier to do, and it's your own personal preference whether you would like to stretch traditionally or foam roll instead. A big tip for foam rolling would be finding that tender spot in the tight muscle and staying on it and applying pressure for 20 to 90 seconds as opposed to actually rolling. So say that we are rolling and we have our muscle here. What we're doing is, if you have a ball and you're rolling a muscle out and you're going over and over it and on and over, going across like that, the stretch is happening like this, and you're really not gonna get as far as you would like to go. But if you were to just apply the pressure here and hold it there 20 to 90 seconds, we can then override the muscle spindle, which will have the result of an increased range of motion. Where that helps us is 1, relieving the tension in a tight muscle. 2, increasing the fascia's movement. We're not breaking up scar tissue, but we are doing some soft tissue releasing. 3, this can help us with DOMS, so delayed onset muscle soreness. So after a workout, if you're to go through and do some foam rolling, you might find that there's benefits in how sore you are the following days. By foam rolling, you can increase your range of motion for about 10 minutes. This isn't a long-term fix. You would want to work on increasing your flexibility through daily stretches, yoga and such, maybe more traditional stretches. By doing it more often, increasing your flexibility over time, you may no longer need to foam roll or stretch as much. Muscular stretch. This is the muscle, attachments, stretch. Boom. We foam roll or use a lacrosse balls, we're leaving the attachments where they are, and instead we are stretching the muscle this way. Okay? Still a stretch in the muscle, just the attachments are staying where they are.